sure that other folks who maybe are unable to join us. Okay, there we go. So we're recording in progress. So like I said, so I came to here, I'll go back to home for Detroit Black Farmer so everybody can see. Is it going to work? No. Well, either way, what you want to do when you go to DetroitBlackFarmer.com, go to apply. Okay, there we go. So this is the home page. You click apply, and then that's going to bring you to this screen. And this screen is where we are going to start in terms of talking about the application. So again, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop it in the chat. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, and same. My computer is also saying that my my connection is unstable, which it usually doesn't do. So that's why I said if you're you're having a problem hearing me or anything, please just drop a note in the chat. Please feel free also all of you to stay off video. You know, don't feel I will stay on, but don't feel like you have to be on video. I know that it kind of takes up some of the bandwidth. So the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, just quickly, was founded on Juneteenth, 2020, specifically with the purpose of rebuilding intergenerational Black farmland ownership here in the city. Right, there's so much vacant land. There are so many people who have already been farming and gardening on vacant land in Detroit, and who had a variety of particular barriers, but most of all, financial barriers to purchasing that land to protect their investment, right? For those of you who were, on and watching the video, you heard Donnie and Roxanne talk about how, Donnie had been farming on some land, and the city sold it, out from under him, and all his crops were gone. And so, for those of us who do grow our own food and are committed to growing our own food, how devastating that can be. And so, it's not just food security in the city, is also about land security, right? We want to make sure that people can get land, have access to land, that we're addressing the inequity in access to land here in the city, and that people can get that land to grow on and to be stable, and to, to support our communities and support our families. So it's been a great thing for all of us, and for hopefully for the 30 farmers, some of who you heard from in the video from last year. And then this coming year, we would like to support 40 people. And we have a couple of things that are changing about the application this year. So I'll start just by saying that first, we're still only targeting Black growers in Detroit, Highland Park, and Hamtramck, right? So those are the places where the land that you're thinking about should be, or if you are farming or gardening on land in those cities already and you want to apply for some infrastructure projects. So this is the next sentence. Funds may be used for land purchases, right? So that's all we did last year, was land purchases. So just helping people outright purchase land so that they could farm and garden on it. But this year we're also doing infrastructure or improvements, right, for like existing farms. So if you already have a farm, you already have the land, like you own the land, but you need a little, you need a little financial support to get your rain catchment system together, or some kind of other irrigation. You can't. Can people not see the screen? Oh no. Okay. Someone in the chat said they couldn't see the screen. Is that true for anybody, for everyone else? Can people see the screen? I hope so. I don't know what to, let me see. Let me try to, I just want to make sure that the screen sharing is working, you all, if you give me. I said Hamtramck, Highland Park, and Detroit, Highland Park, Hamtramck. Those are someone just put in the chat, clarifying the land places. So it is those 3 places.
That was me, Aaron. I cannot see the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Jerry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I heard, yeah. I see. I saw your. I don't know what to. If anybody else is able, can you guys see the screen? Because it's good on my end, but I'm trying to look and see what else I can do. Let me try to, like. All right, sorry, I think I just got kicked off. I kicked myself off my own Zoom. Okay, so I hope folks can hear me. Let me see. Maybe throw in the chat if you're having any problems hearing or seeing the screen share. I'm going to screen share again and see if it works. Okay, is anybody seeing the it's a screen. It says 2021 Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund application. Okay. Oh, thanks, John. Okay. He said it's better now. Jerry, can you see it now? Can you see the screen share?
Yep, yep, I
good.
see it.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for letting me know. And that's what we got to do. So, I'll just, and maybe I will turn my camera off. Maybe that'll help. All right, so I'm gonna turn my camera off so I can and just keep sharing. Okay, so right. So this year we are expanding to also supporting infrastructure and improvements on land that people may already have. So that's a new development. And so our application reflects that. And then, we disperse funds that we have been raising through crowdfunding and a variety of other sources directly to the Land Bank Authority or to contractors for infrastructure funds. So it's saying my connection is unstable again. So again, let me know if you have any problems seeing this. There are some FAQs on the FAQ sheet if you have any questions just about going through the application, and we'll go through it here tonight. And then we'll talk about all these documents that are required with the application this year, which include a plot plan, right? So showing us what you would like to do if you're purchasing land, or if you want to purchase land, what are you going to be doing on that plot of land? What is your vision? What is your dream? What is your goal? A budget for your project, right? Like how much, give some thought to how much do you think everything's going to cost, and let us know that. A letter of support, right? A letter of support is a letter from whether it's the local community where you're trying to purchase land, the local community where you already farm and grow, someone who's familiar with your work. A letter of support is not a letter from yourself. It is a letter that needs to be from someone else that just talks about, either the vision, if you're a new farmer and gardener trying to get land and start from the beginning, or what you've done, in your community with your farm or your garden so far, if you're already established. And then optional is photos or video of your farm or garden, right? So even if, let's say, you're trying to buy some land to expand your garden, but you have a garden at home, right? Like that might be, it might be good to send us a picture so that we can see the work that you've already done and the work that you want to expand on. So the applications are due on August 9th. And I want to now we're going to go down here to the bottom. And again, this is at detroitblackfarmer.com/apply. And then you click there and it takes you, it is a Google form, right? So I hope this is good. I hope everybody can see this. Let me X that out. And so this is the application itself. And so maybe it's probably best to, come look through it, and then, click on some of these links, get all, and make sure you have all your things together when you sit down to complete the full application. Because I don't think, unfortunately, there's a way to save it or anything. So you got to kind of fill it all out at one time. And this is our second application info session. So if you know anybody else that is interested and was unable to join tonight, there will be another session where we'll do this again, just to make sure that everyone gets the information that they need. And we start, talking about our mission and also just making sure that, the people that are applying are becoming a part of an intergenerational and intentional community of Black farmers who will ensure that the land is used to further this mission now and in the future, right? And so it's important to us that we make sure the people who we are supporting in building their vision and their dream also support the vision and the dream that we have for the community of people that we're supporting. And that's intergenerational Black farmland ownership, right? So this is farmland that we want to see stay in Black agriculturalist hands, not just now, but into the future. So that's important, and make sure, to read these things. And we try to make sure, whenever we, compile our application, that we make very clear, kind of what are the most important things and what are the things that if you're applying should probably also be important to you, so that we're all on the same page. Who are you applying for? If you're a business or yourself, or even a block club, a community organization, making sure, again, do you identify as a Black person, right? And when we do have a space That says, if you feel like you meet this standard, but you don't identify as Black, please clarify how you identify, right? So that would be other. But this is specifically, to resolve and work on the problem that Black farmers have acquiring land in the city. So we're very clear about that too. And then we ask for some information about you, your name, email, phone, how can we reach you, mailing address. And then this is important too, website and social media channels. If you have any social media channels, especially as it relates to your garden or your farm or whatever growing you've already been doing, it's a great way for us to just get a fuller picture of who you are and what you're bringing to the city with your farm and your garden. And are you currently gardening and farming? And I mentioned this earlier too, but again, if anybody, I'm watching the chat, if anybody has any questions, please just throw them in the chat and about any specific question, and I'll address it. Describe any training that you have gone through to learn gardening or farming. And so this can, even if it's not any kind of formalized training, right? Even if it, you haven't necessarily gone to like a school or anything, talk about, talk about how your grandmother taught you, how to garden or farm. Your parents always had a garden. We consider that too, to be training. And that's reflected also in the next question, right? Are you a legacy farmer, right? Like, so are you someone that has inherited this knowledge and wisdom from your family or friends, elders in your community, and make sure and tell us that story. That's an important component. We want to make sure that we have a good mixture of folks that are just starting out and folks that are, that are bringing intergenerationality to their farm and to their garden. So those are kind of the introductory questions in the applicant profile section, right? So I was in this applicant profile section, continuing to go down. Now we're in the land profile section, and asking to tell you more. Now let me make sure, let me see. Okay. All right. The land profile tells us, if you already have a name, if you already have land, what is that name? How much land are you currently farming or gardening on? And if you are, let us know the address. And then asking if you're a member of Keep Growing Detroit's Garden Resource Program. I forgot to mention, myself and Jerry are here. We're co-founders of the Land Fund representing Oakland Avenue Urban Farm and DBC FSN. But Keep Growing Detroit is our third collaborative partner in the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund. So they obviously, many people may be a member of the Garden Resource Program. If you're not familiar with it, definitely click on this link, and they distribute seeds, they have classes, they provide a lot of support for not just Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund farmers, but for farmers all over this, farmers and gardeners all over the city of Detroit. So it's a great program. And we expect that most people have already been getting support from them in some way. So we just want to know if that's true or not. And have you performed a soil test on the property? Okay, someone's in the waiting room, they let them in. And a soil test will be required before your purchase can be approved, right? So, soil testing, because we are in, an urban environment, there are all kinds of things that could be in your soil that could really negatively impact you growing produce, or could, have you growing produce that's unsafe or unfit to eat. And so we really want to make sure that that soil testing is done everywhere. So on any property that we're supporting you in purchasing, right? So that you don't end up in a situation where you're growing all this produce that you can't eat or can't sell, et cetera, et cetera. And then soil tests are available, I'm pretty sure, at Lowe's and Home Depot, but then we can also, Keep Growing Detroit also does soil testing. And so there is a cost, but the cost will be rolled into your final award amount, okay? So, and next, project mission and visions. And this is important, right? This is the part where you tell us, what is your vision? When you think about purchasing land and growing on it, what does that mean to you? What kind of crops do you want to grow? And what are you going to do with those crops also? Like, do you want to sell at a farmer's market? Do you want to create value added products, which would be like jams and salves, if you make like body products, if you make I keep thinking of Afro Jam, Jerry. That's why I said that. Applesauce. I know Jerry makes applesauce too. If you're going to
Right,
take
very
things that you're
good.
growing, yes. If you're going to take the things that you're growing and make them into something else that you can sell. So letting us know kind of what is your mission and what are you thinking about doing with this land? And then here if you're applying to purchase land or infrastructure or both, right? So when we say both, I'm thinking that really is targeted towards maybe you're farming or gardening on one lot, but you want to expand. And so you might need another plot, but that might also mean that you need a rain catchment system for that plot, right? So and so that will determine kind of which next part of the application you'll go to, because obviously we have different questions based on if you're purchasing land or if you want help with an infrastructure project. So I'm going to go to, I don't know if it's going to let me go to, I don't know if it's going to let me go next. Let me see. Not without filling out all the stuff, but so that's, so I'll just, I'll end there just for that. Just because, so what you'll do after you fill in all of these things above, right? And there are required questions. So I'll make sure that you're filling in all the required questions that are starred. Once you do that, then you select land or infrastructure or land and infrastructure. That'll take you to the relevant page that will that'll ask more questions about that specific thing. It'll ask more questions about the land. It'll ask, oh, okay. Oh, great. Thank you, Jerry. Jerry put something in the chat that's really interesting for folks that are talking, when we talked about value added products in this last question. Is allowable to make a value added product and earn 25K tax free, which I did not know that. I knew about the cottage law, but I didn't know about that. So and I do want to see, let me take a break here because I want to see if I can figure out a way to get to the next page. But I want to just ask, I want to just take a break and see if anybody had any questions so far. If anyone maybe like applied last year, the application is a little different. So definitely, keep that in mind and make sure that you, have the information that you need when you sit down to fill it out. Yeah, and just give me a moment. I just want to see if I can go through these other pages with you all, because I want you all to be able to see. Jerry, were you on the last application webinar? Did you guys go through the whole thing?
Oh, I was not there.
Okay. Yeah, I can't, because I forgot about how the questions are all, it's required. So it's like, I got to fill out that stuff to get to the next page.
Oh, yeah.
But let me see, like I said, just give me some grace for a moment, y'all. If you don't mind, I'm going to see if I can get to the next page for us. But I do know what I will do, go back, what we can do instead is let's talk about, and we'll make sure if folks have questions on the further pages, you can always email us. I'll put our email address in the chat. It's kind of long, but it's easy. Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund @gmail.com. Did I spell it right? Yeah, okay. You can always email us with questions. Of course, our ability to answer questions on August 8th at 11:59 might be limited. But so I would say, do as much as you can, kind of front load the work here and make sure that, and of course, a lot of us have been thinking about this for a while, and this isn't something new, and so it's really just a question of like pulling together everything and making sure that you have what you need to tell us your story and tell us about yourself. So what I'll do is I'll go through these other documents that you do need to upload for the application. Again, this is new for this year. Making sure that we wanted to make sure that we required a plot plan. And so this is a short guide that kind of talks to you about how to make a plot plan. And it can your plot plan can be hand drawn. You don't have to like use any like fancy computer program or anything. Again, plot plan is a simple one-page drawing that shows the dimension and configuration of your property, right? So in this instance, we do ask on the application that you identify one or two sites where if you want to purchase land, we do ask that you have identified that land at the time that you apply, right? So if you know that the vacant land down the street from you has been available forever and this is your chance to put your garden in there, make sure you get the address. The application has a link to a land grid that Detroit uses, so you can make sure that the property that you're talking about is actually at the address that you're thinking. I know, of course, sometimes it's vacant land, there's no house, so there's no number, right? So how do you figure out the number? There is a link in the land part of the application to a land grid that can help you figure out if you know like where the property is, but you don't know like the address, it'll help you figure out the address. Okay. So yes, and then your plot plan. So we just included this so folks can, so you can get an idea of your of the different pieces that go into, making a plot plan. It's really simple. But we just wanted to make sure that folks had some information about it. And here's a good example of one that you're drawing, right? So like here are some trees, here's the neighboring lot, here's, it shows this space of the sidewalk, right? So, it can be handwritten. We just ask that you submit whatever your plot plan is and, and show us where your raised beds would be, or show us if you want to do, some people are doing like food forests, like, so there's a bunch of trees. Where will the trees go? Where would you plant them? If you're going to have rows, like this, like where are your rows going to go? And of course, like this is it's a plan for a reason. Of course, we certainly understand that potentially things might change over time, but we want to have a sense or an idea of what your big picture is and how you see the land that you're asking for, that you want to purchase, fitting into that, right? So that's important. And then I'm going to share again does anybody have any questions though on the plot plan? Let me stop there for a moment. I know we're doing a lot in a short amount of time, but I want to make sure that we answer everybody's questions. But I don't see any questions now. So I'm going to share again and go back to, I just want to show you where I got to the plot plan thing on this screen in case you didn't see. So that was the link by plot plan. So giving you some information on how to do a plot plan, and then budget for your land or infrastructure project. So let's click on that. And remember, so if you're filling out the application, right? If you're filling out the application and you click on this, it's going to take you away from this screen. So don't click on this if you've already like filled in all this stuff, right? Or it might be good, maybe open another document that has all your answers in it, and then you can just cut and paste your answers into the actual application when you're done. But here is a budget template, right? So just a very simple budget. We do ask about any personal funds that you are able or willing to contribute to your project. What are you requesting from the Black Farmer Land Fund? How much, and then what expenses, whether raised beds, irrigation system, wood, a tractor, not tractors, that's a big expense. But again, if you're asking for like an infrastructure project, right? So maybe you're only asking for a tractor, or maybe you're only asking for a rain catchment system. And so those are the things that would come down here for expenses. And just you can keep them by category, right? So maybe like farm equipment, right? Like water, watering, this could be like irrigation, rain catchment, tools, and then listing some tools that that you might need, right? And then total expenses, and then the net, right? So how much do you have to contribute? How much are you asking the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund to contribute? And then all the costs here. So, doing a little bit of math and just showing, kind of, what the breakdown is for your project or your land purchase. So that is that. And again, don't do it at 11:59 on August 8th. But if you have any specific questions about budgets and plot plans, please go ahead and email us, and we will make sure that somebody gets back to you. Let me see what else is on the application that we can go through together. Mm, I'm still gonna try to see if I can. Let me just skim through this and see if I can get to the next page. But I would be interested to hear. I only see. I don't know. No one has put in the chat. I would be interested to hear from folks. If anybody wants to share, kind of, what they're thinking. Maybe is this your first time applying? Are you, have you been gardening or farming for a while? Anything that you want to share with the group that we do have here.
Okay. Well, my name is Jacqueline Lindsay,
Mhm.
and I purchased 3 lots of land in Highland Park. 2 of them right next to each other, 1 right behind. There are lots available all around the lots that I purchased. And right now I'm kind of torn as to what direction I want to go in. Like, do I want to try to buy that entire block? Because I want a farm, not pieces of land, because my goal is I want to start a summer camp for girls who want to garden and learn. I'm a math teacher, so I want to teach math, science, and teach them how to garden. I also talked with another teacher about showing them how to cook from what they pick from the garden. And we're doing like soap making, yoga, things of that nature. That's only for the summer, but all year round, I do want to become a commercial grower of like Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, bok choy, things of that nature that I can grow all year round. So I really want to invest in a greenhouse, triple pane glass greenhouse, not a cold frame, where I could grow all year round on that property, and live as well. So I'm looking for a property where I can live, a real farm, live, farm, and provide classes for girls or boys who want to learn how to garden and get math tutoring and science tutoring. So it's more like a STEM program because I teach in a STEAM program for DPS. I'm a DPS employee. And this year we're actually trying to expand that. I've been teaching aquaponics, so it would be a mixture of aquaponics as well as raised bed growing. So I'm currently taking classes with Nelson and Pitt on the techniques for aquaponics. I've done some raised bed growing in my backyard. I'm currently growing ginger and turmeric in my house. Trying to grow a lemon tree in the house too, but I only got 3 leaves so far. So we working on it. But like I have the idea of what I want to do, and I want it to be something that's done year after year, not just 1 year and just stop. So I want to actually, I bought the 3 lots and then I stopped because I said, well, let me make sure that this is something that I can expand and that I can have year after year after year. So that's where I'm at right now. So when I found this, I was like, oh, this is perfect, because I have joined a couple of gardening groups on Facebook just to get some ideas and some feedback, things of that nature. And it's helped out a lot.
Oh, good. Oh, wow. Well, no, I love it. And then I'm pretty sure that as a DPS employee, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think as a DPS employee, if it's land bank property, if it's land bank owned property, you would get some kind of discount, I believe. And so we asked that at the end of the application, like, are you a City of Detroit employee? And there's a couple of other things that the land bank will give you a discount on your land purchase. So,
Okay, yeah. I know I get one at 50% off,
oh, nice.
but I
Okay.
want to make it count, I stay in the Chicago Boulevard area right now. And like I said, my land is in Highland Park. So it's okay, do I keep purchasing land in Highland Park because where it's situated? I I don't know if it'll be a large enough area for what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Because
right.
what aquaponics, I actually had a supplier for shrimp. So I was gonna do aquaponics to shrimp and then the raised bed. So I
Okay.
actually had a warehouse set up right before Corona.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did Build Institute to help me develop my business plan for the shrimp
Okay.
farming. So I just want to see like all of it kind of works together, but again, it's the funding and things of that nature and getting the land is what I'm not sure about. So you did answer my question because I was trying to determine like how I develop. Do you need to have your plot? And then looking at those pictures, that did help out a lot. So I just found it like last week. So I'm at the very beginning of trying to put everything together to submit it
Okay.
for some help.
Oh, great. No, but that's, I mean, and it's just, that's astonishing. Like you would never, people, I don't think people would ever think like there's a shrimp farmer in Detroit, right? But like it's all possible. And there's so much vacant land. And so why not? So, I'm glad that you found us and I'm glad that you're applying. And that's why a plot plan is important too. So hopefully like doing a plot plan will kind of help you figure out spatially like how many lots are you thinking, or what would be the best thing for you. And that's what we want. We just want people to really give some thought to what they're asking for and what their vision is. And so we can, that helps us in kind of pushing your dream through. You know what I mean? So
Well, thank you. There's one farmer in the city, and they started last year, and they're from Farmington Hills. They're shrimp farming in the
Oh, okay.
city. Yeah, and they said they were gonna reach out to the community, but they haven't, and
That's where you come in. You're gonna reach out to the
exactly.
community.
And then that same organization is buying a lot of land in the Chicago Boulevard area, and is just a little concerning to me.
Sure. Sure. No, I mean, that's a
So
big part of what we're concerned about too. We want to
yeah,
make sure that we're in on this, right? Like
yeah,
it's not just people coming from other places to buy up land, right? That it's folks that are already in the city and in many instances already doing this work. Like you said, you've already been doing this work. And so that's really important to us. And that's so I'm excited. Hopefully you'll complete your application and I'm excited to see it. That's awesome.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna finish it. So I actually have my little stuff set up right here while we're talking, but I'm excited. I'm very excited because this has been a long time coming. For the last 3-4 years, I actually started taking classes with Michigan State to get an associate's in agriculture to better understand soil. I'm a master gardener through Michigan State. Since 2008, we would do community gardens on the school level.
Yep.
But I've never really had the space at my home to have a garden. I have a small one in the backyard that I just started. But they have a organic, and I'm an organic grower. I'm strictly organic, but they have a program with Michigan State that's coming up this March that I would like to register for. I have to take off every Monday from work, and it's an all-day program where you work their farms to learn organic farming.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm registering for that to help support what I'm trying to do, because by next summer, I would like to have the camp up and running for the girls, because I've gotten a lot of interest just talking to different teachers with their kids. They want, their kids to come and just meeting people out. They were like, their kids are learning how to eat healthy. We tell them how to eat healthy. We tell them to eat healthy, but we're not walking them through the whole process of what it actually means. So I was just trying to close that gap as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And so definitely put, even if there's training that maybe you haven't done yet, but that you're signing up for. I'm glad that you brought that up. Put that on your application too, right? If you're signing up for something, there's something that's coming up that
Okay.
you're going to be taking. Make sure to include that. So that we know about that too. And I'm excited. I want to give other folks a chance to ask me questions or share too.
Okay.
But I also, I didn't want to cut you off, but I figured I got to the second page of the application. So I just wanted to keep walking you guys through that, because that was what I wanted to do, is just walk everybody through the whole thing. And so this, we're going to start with the land purchase readiness. If you're purchasing land, so we ask, what's your relationship or history with this place, and then we ask for what best describes your current land situation, just so we have an idea. And then something to give some thought to: what is your watering plan, right? So of course we had all these torrential downpour rains and all of that, but water has really kind of the rain water catchment has decreased, or the rainwater amount has decreased over time over the past couple of years. And so we're finding that folks that have larger farm and garden operations definitely need some kind of water catchment system, like whether you're collecting rainwater or there's something else. So give some thought to that, give some thought to what your watering plan would be, so that you can just share with us what you're thinking. How would you get water out to whatever your site is? Asking if you're a community partner with the Land Bank Authority, because that's something that they ask on their application for the land purchase. And see, this is what I was talking about. So what is the specific address of your first choice of land? And this link will help you determine parcel addresses and publicly owned land. And so I'm going to open this link in a new tab so I don't lose this page. Okay, and this is the parcel viewer, right? So you can search here, search by address. You can move the map around. Like again, if it's just vacant land and you don't necessarily know where it is, or how to identify it, or what the address is, you can do that. But this will just help you kind of try to figure out exactly where the land is that you want to, where'd the application go? Here it is, that you want to purchase. And then we ask, in the event that your first choice is unavailable, right? So I'll talk about that for just a second. Sometimes there are areas of the city where different Detroit agencies own certain kinds of certain land. They've kind of stopped people from purchasing it because there might be speculative development happening there. There may be a lien on the property from the last property owner, and so sometimes those liens have to expire before someone else can purchase the property. So we just have there are a couple of reasons why we're asking this time around, not just a specific address of your first choice, but the specific address of a second choice of land that you want to purchase. And this is really just to support you. We had some folks last year who were moving forward on purchasing a particular parcel, and the land bank would tell them it's not available, and then they kind of had to go out and find a new piece of land. And so we want to make sure that folks are thinking ahead of time, like here's my number one, here's my number two. So if your number one is unavailable, we just pivot back to number two, and we keep you moving through the process, right? Because people who may have purchased with the land bank know it is a long process. They're saying now that it's a 3 to 4 month process. We've obviously seen it take much longer. We've seen some people go right through, and the people that go right through are ones that, again, have multiple properties identified, have all their documentation together. And so that's a big part of why the application changed a little bit this year, so that we could help you all get prepared for whatever you need to move through that process as quickly as possible. So again, our timeline on the application talks about how we're going to be making the announcements about awards in September. And so really pushing to make sure that folks can be, hopefully on land that they own in time for the spring, for the next season, the next growing season. So that's a big part of this. Who owns the property you want to purchase, right? That's another question that we want you to do some digging on, and I open that. Okay, and the parcel viewer will also tell you that, right? So when you search, once you find out the address, right, it'll tell you also who the owner of the property is. Hold on, I'm trying to get back. There we go. Back to the application. How is the property zoned, right? So make sure you're probably, because commercial property there's a tendency, and I think, is this the same thing? Yep. Parcel viewer. So the parcel viewer will tell you everything that you need to know, like these last 3 questions, right? It'll help you identify the address. It'll help you it'll say who owns it, and it'll talk about how it's zoned. Because commercially zoned property is going to be a little more difficult to acquire. So it's important for us to know that at the outset so that we can, again, kind of figure out how to help you navigate that process. Have you made any attempts at purchasing the land, right? So that's something that we want to know, so that we can figure out, how we can support you at this stage. And then purchase land through the DLBA, not delinquent on any property taxes on any property that you currently own, right? So we need to know if this is the case for you. If you have some delinquent taxes, or some people you had delinquent taxes, but now you're in a payment plan. If you're in that kind of situation, definitely let us know at the outset, because that's the best way that we can help you still be able to move through this process. If you're paying off or you're in a payment plan, you should be good to go, but we still need to know that so that we can support you in terms of the discussions with the land bank. Average land purchases can range from $100 to $1,500. We want to support as many folks as possible. And so we want to know if you have any amount that you could contribute towards the purchase of this land. It's just so we can, we really crunch numbers, because we are stewards of these funds that have been raised specifically for you all, for people who are looking to purchase, Black people who are looking to purchase farmland in the city of Detroit. And so we do our absolute best to make sure that we can help as many people as we can. And a part of that is also knowing, okay, well, if this person can contribute to their, if this person can contribute to their land purchase, that means we have a little bit extra money for this person over here. And so we want as many people to win as possible. And so that's how we do that, is figuring out how much people can contribute. And so that's helpful for us to know. Also talks about, if you're a new landowner, right? There's an increased responsibility for land ownership, paying the taxes, keeping the grass cut, cleaning up, water bills, liability if someone get hurt on your property. Excuse me. And we just want to make sure that we want to say that because we want to make sure people are aware that, these are some changes that are coming your way as a new Black farmland owner in Detroit. But we just want to make sure that people are aware of that as they move to this next stage of their journey. And then, are you also applying for infrastructure funding? So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go through and just click a bunch of stuff, or just put a bunch of stuff in here, which is what I did on the last screen, so we can get to the next screen. I think I clicked something for mostly everything. Just give me a moment. But does anybody have any questions at this point? This is about the land purchase. So if you're just applying for an infrastructure project, you wouldn't fill out this page and you wouldn't see this page. Like if you're not purchasing land, you wouldn't, if you just clicked infrastructure on the first page, then you wouldn't see this page at all. But this is just a page if you're also thinking about land purchase. Okay, so let's see, is it gonna let me go? Awesome. Okay, so if you're applying for infrastructure, this is only infrastructure. So you already have the land, or all you're asking for is an infrastructure project. This is what you're gonna see. And then, so describe in detail the project, what's the total amount needed, what's the amount you're able to contribute, and describe the labor support. So this is important. So if you have, this awesome water catchment system that you want to build, but it takes like 10 people, let us know, do some digging and try to confirm that you got those 10 people to support you once you get the funds from us. Let us know what you're thinking in terms of making the dream a reality. And have you completed other infrastructure projects on your land, right? So, all right, and I just filled in some stuff so we could go to the next page. And this is commitment to the land page, right? So can you commit time and energy to this project for at least 5 years? We think it's very important that all of the farmers and growers that we support with finances to purchase land or to do an infrastructure project, that those folks are going to be on that land or utilizing that infrastructure project for at least the next 5 years. So this is a commitment, just because, again, this is about creating an intentional community of Black farmland owners in the city. And we want to make sure this is about food sovereignty and food security too. And so, this is not, just a flash in the pan. Like, we want to make sure that folks who are applying are aware, that this is something that, we want to see people doing, for 5 years or more, on this land. And so, it's just, and not only that, if you can't do it for 5 years, we still want to, do something or work with you to make sure that there is some kind of agriculture happening on that land. So this is something, definitely give this some thought and make sure that you are ready to commit to at least 5 years of your project. And that's what it says here too. Should something happen before 5 years, you cannot no longer continue. Can you commit to donating resources received from the fund to another Black farmer, right? So, and we just, this is just about, again, demonstrating how we think it's important that folks demonstrate that commitment, right? The commitment to not just to, each of our individual projects, but to the bigger whole, right? Like to the full community, to the Black farming community that we're building, making sure that folks are aware of that. What would support from us mean for you or your organization? If you are awarded, are you okay with this being public information? So I run the social media for the Black Farmer Land Fund, and so I do as much as I can to amplify your voices and share all of the things that the farmers that we now that we've already supported, when they post, sharing their posts about what they're doing on their farm, sharing their posts about needing volunteers, right? Helping them coordinate getting volunteers, because people are always reaching out to us and saying, oh, we want to volunteer on one of your farms. So trying to help with that. So it's important that, we know whether you're okay, being on social media or not. It's an important way that we have been getting the word out, not just about the fund, but about all the fabulous things that are happening now that people are getting on land. And then, is there anything else you want the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund to know? And then so we're almost done. Again, I'm not going to submit this, but, and then, oh yeah, so the last page is the file upload, right? So this is the copy of your plot plan, a letter of support, a budget, okay, a testimonial from someone who believes in your project and has confidence in its completion, right? And then this is important. So if the parcel you're looking to purchase is adjacent to a home, you must have a letter from the adjacent neighbor or a letter from a community member from that neighborhood where you would like to purchase. Because we just want to make sure, sometimes if you don't live in that neighborhood, or you're trying to purchase land in a neighborhood, maybe you grew up in that neighborhood, but you don't live there anymore, or something like that. We just want to make sure, because with side lots and neighborhood lots and all these programs that the land bank has, sometimes that adjacent neighbor will get what's called a right of first refusal. And so that means that if you come along trying to buy this plot, the land bank would first go to that adjacent neighbor and say, hey, do you want to buy this lot before somebody else does, because they live next door to it? And so what has happened in some instances to folks is, they've moved forward, they've put in all their documentation with the land bank, they got their plot plan and all this stuff, but they didn't get a letter of support and they didn't talk to that adjacent neighbor. And so then the adjacent neighbor will buy the land, and then you got to start all over. So again, like, we're just taking the best practices that we have gleaned from the process last year of getting all of these farmers through, and utilizing those as we do our next application process. And so that's a part of that. So make sure, if you're purchasing land that's next to someone's home, talk to that person, see if you can talk to somebody, make sure that, folks know in that area what you're trying to do. And then, when the land bank goes to them and says, hey, this person wants to buy the lot next to you, are you cool with that? Then they'll say, oh, I know them, sure. And then that will just help you as you move through the process. And then attach your budget, upload your own or use our template. Okay, and then it looks like, let me see, upload the following, let me see. Well, I thought it said, so when you upload, it looks like what you would want to do here is put a, put like a put like a put a link or something. Like if you make the document in Google, right? Like if you make it in Google Docs, if you do your letter of support or whatnot, then you can just put a link here to the document. I hope people are familiar with what I'm talking about. I thought there was a way that you could upload directly to this application, but I'm not
I
sure
think
if
at the
there
last
is.
one, at the
Go ahead.
last one, you can upload it. The last portal.
Oh,
If you
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Oh,
but
I
that's the
see.
last page though.
Yeah, this is the last page. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I've looked at it and I thought that was so. Here's what I'll do. I think that for sure. I know there have been some people who have not been able to figure out how to upload it, and they've emailed us their information. So you could always just put like, I emailed this to Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund at gmail.com on July 19th. Okay, so you could do something like that. I thought that there was a way that you could directly upload to this application, and let me text one of our other folks and see if they can let me know so I can answer that while I have you guys on here. But anywho, we do want to make sure that we get these required documents from everyone again, because it's just going to make the process so much easier. Like those of you who saw the video at the beginning, and while I'm figuring this out, let me stop sharing. Those of you who saw the video at the beginning, and a couple of people said, just kind of how long they had been trying to work with the land bank to purchase the land on their own, and that we were able to kind of help push them through. But it's a lot of these things. These were the kind of snags that people had coming up, right? Like they wanted certain land, but it wasn't available. So you got to kind of start over. You don't have your plot plan. And the thing is with the land bank, the better it's much better if you have all your documentation together and submit it all at one time, instead of like if they're like, hey, we need your plot plan, and then you have to send them that, and then they're like, hey, we need this, and then you're going back and forth. It's better if you have all that stuff at the beginning when you go through the process. And so that's why we're asking for these things, to be a part of the application, so that we already have it, and that'll help streamline everything for you all too. And like I said, I'm texting this other person. Hey, where do folks upload their docs? I don't see it on the last page. See it. Okay. So hopefully she will respond. That is our lead co-conspirator, Danielle. She's also from Keep Growing Detroit. She is amazing, and she helps us with a lot of this techie type stuff. So hopefully she will know the answer to this question. But is there, while I'm waiting on her to answer me, is there anybody else that wants to maybe share about their project or what they're thinking? Is there anyone who has any questions that I can answer for you? Because that's the whole application. So again, it is a little long, but this is big stuff. This is land purchasing, right? And so it's farmland, it's ownership, land ownership. It's really important. So happy that you guys are considering doing that with us.
I'm just gonna say thank you very much for having this opportunity for us, and I got some work to do.
Yeah, right. Well, at least you have, you still have what, 3 weeks now. So
I got 3 weeks, but it's still work,
Mhm.
But yeah, there's more than enough time for sure. More than
Right.
enough. Yeah.
And it's work, but again, it's like if
It's
you
necessary.
do it now, then you're not kind of like scrambling to do it like while everything else is going on.
That's true. I'm
That,
gonna do a
that's
question a day.
right. And some of it will come easy, kind of like,
Right.
again, like
What's my name?
what's your mission, what's your vision, you've
Yeah.
been thinking about that, because I think a lot of people, what we find, have been thinking about this for a while. have some really great ideas. Like we heard Jacqueline's idea has some really beautiful things that would really enhance our communities and work with our children and clean up blight in our neighborhoods. And so these are great, beautiful things. And so that part, hopefully is easy. There's all a lot of technical stuff, but it's all worth it in the end, right? I mean, I think that.
Oh, I completely agree. I hope I didn't come off as like, oh, this is so much work.
No,
No, I don't feel that way.
it still
Yeah.
is. It's still a lot, but it's like
it's definitely doable. It's definitely necessary because you guys, I mean, this is, applications are a vetting process. You guys have to make sure that people are coming correct. They know what they want to do. And I mean, it's definitely clear with you all want people to be here for 5 years, which I completely recommend as well. That goes to show just the process of this is not some fly-by-night operation, that you guys want people to be committed to what they're doing and to the city of Detroit and the Black people in general. So again, I completely understand. Like I said, I thank you, but I got some work to do.
Yeah. I appreciate that, John. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're able to join. And again, I text my folks to see if there's an answer to where, like physically where the documents get uploaded. I don't see how that works, but it could just be me. Could be user error.
Yeah, for some reason I thought I saw that, because what I did, I would type in stuff to go to the last page, because you can't go to the last page unless you type in stuff. And what I do, and maybe this would be helpful for anybody listening, instead of putting in your information on there, because sometimes, let's say you have a bad connection and it refreshes, or your computer shuts down for whatever reason, you just lost all that.
Right.
So it's best to put it on a Word document, and then that way it gives you a little more room to make corrections on it, and then just copy and paste it over.
Yep.
So long story long, when I did all that, I thought I saw an upload link, but I guess my mind was playing tricks on me too, because it was not there when you did it. Yeah.
And let me say this. I think, man, and Laura, I see your hand, and I'm gonna get to you in just a moment. I think that, so maybe also because I was involved in making the application, and I'm logged in as myself, it might not be showing it for some reason. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that there's some kind of link somewhere. So I'm just,
right.
I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm waiting to hear back from my other tech folks to see if they have any information for me. But Laura, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Got to the meeting late, so, I missed prior to business meetings or whatever prior to this meeting. I think you had 2 other meetings on this.
Right. It was just a webinar where we did the same. Another one of the co-founders did the same thing that I just did, which was just kind of walked everyone through the application and answered any questions. So we're just doing it multiple times because we want to make sure that we catch everybody that has any questions or that wants to apply. So
Okay.
you didn't miss anything.
Oh, okay. So I heard 3 weeks though. So is this like 3 weeks for this application, 3 weeks the purchase, get property that you would want to purchase and make a farmer?
It is 3 weeks. I'll pull this back up and I'll share my screen again. I'm going to turn my video off so I can share and it doesn't freak out. So we'll talk about the timeline. So this is DetroitBlackFarmer.com. If you come to apply, it takes you here to the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund application. Okay, and so it goes, and this kind of gives, a brief rundown of what we just talked about. Again, these documents, plot plan, budget, these are all described in the actual application, and that link is down here at the bottom. But then here's our timeline, right? So the application was released on July 5th. We're here at the second application info session. We'll have one more. So if you have other friends that are, were not available tonight, or that are interested and have some questions, excuse me, they can join on August 2nd. I've also recorded this session, so we'll make sure that this is available on our YouTube channel, and it should be available here on the DetroitBlackFarmer.com website. So if you want to watch this from the beginning, Laura, you can do that as soon as it's posted. And then the applications are due August 9th at midnight, right? So I was just saying, I think that's about 3 weeks from now, which, yeah, it's about 3 weeks from now. And so you got about 3 weeks, because we went through, Laura, I don't know what you were able to see, but we just went through the application, which is a Google form. It does ask, quite a few questions, and it asks you, I think the biggest things that we're asking people to do this year that we didn't ask for last year, and again, this is because of what we learned through the process of getting farmers through this past year, is we're asking people to identify 2 addresses. So the first address of the land that you're interested in, and then a kind of a backup, right? Because what happened to some people last year was they had some land that they had identified, they submitted all their paperwork to the land bank, they were excited they were moving forward, and the land bank came back and said, oh, that property is not available, or there's a lien on it, you would have to wait 3 years to purchase it, or it's slated for speculative development. So there are some times where the land is just, the land bank is not selling it, right? And so there's not really another option. But if you have a second piece of land that you've identified, then we can just pivot to that second address, as opposed to having to start the whole process all over. Does that make sense? So that's something that we're asking people for. And so there's a link in the application. So we went through the whole application. Let me just go back, because I don't know if I'm going to get, oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I got pretty much of what you just told me.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I was just going back to, where is it? This is the infrastructure part. See, land purchase readiness. And there's this link. So this link will tell you, it'll help you figure out the address, the owner, and the zoning of the property that you're interested in. Okay, and so use those links in your application. I do think that's why what John was suggesting is a great idea, in terms of having like a Word document where you're putting all the answers, as opposed to putting them in on the application if you're not completely ready, right? Because even if I click on this and I have all my answers in here, it might erase all the answers, you know what I mean? Or not erase them. It would go to this page, and then I would have to start all over. So, but so we tried to make sure that we had links for everything in the application to make it as easy as possible, even at the very beginning of the application. Let me go back. So even at the very beginning, there's a link. We have information here on how to create a plot plan, and how to create a budget, which we're also asking people to do. So again, I'm just trying to figure out how you guys can upload those documents. But I'm pretty sure, even if you can't figure out how to upload them, send us in. But like I said, don't wait till August 8th at 11:59. But send us an email and say, oh, I'm trying to do this, but I can't upload the documents, or I'm having some trouble, and then I'm sure we can help you figure out. That would be great. Oh, I put the Jacqueline said in the chat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I apologize. Sorry. What's on my mind is now is that, are the applications being emailed to us, or?
No. You just okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we're at DetroitBlackFarmer.com and I clicked apply. And see, this is the application page. And then at the bottom of the application page, you click apply, and that will take you here to the application, which is a Google form. So you'll fill this out online. So see, there are like different questions. You can put yes, no, so you're answering. There are some questions that are like multiple choice. There are some questions like your name, like you gotta put that in there. So yeah, so it's done online. And so when we say create a Word document, the idea is, because this is online, and if I refresh this page, all the changes you made may not be saved, right? And so it's going to make all the stuff that I put in go away. But if you just have the application on your page, are on your web, up on your screen, and then you have a document on, that you're using to put all your answers in, then you can just move the answers from that document into the final, when you're final and you're done. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so that's what we're, so that's probably the best way to do it, just to make sure that you don't lose any information.
Okay, thank you.
No, no problem. Thank you for joining. And then Jacqueline, I see your chat. You put the links in the chat again. If you join late, what links did I have? Let me see. What did I know I put, oh yeah, okay. Let me see.
I was able to find it, but I was on my phone and I switched to my computer, so I couldn't click on any of the links that you have put at the very beginning of the session.
Okay.
But I was able to find it.
Okay, and I think all I put them there again is DetroitBlackFarmer.com. That's just our website. So also, feel free to, let other folks know, if they're applying, that, that's where they can find information. You can find other information about the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund at Detroit Black Farmer, including where to donate, right? Like if you or other folks that want to donate to support our cause. I mean, that's completely how we fund all of this, is through crowdfunding and fundraisers and things that people are doing because they want to support Black farmers financially. And so, anybody that is willing to drop a donation, we are always happy to accept those donations. You can do that on our website. There are some videos on our website. I showed a video at the beginning of this talk. That was a video kind of detailing some of the farmers that were awarded land last year and their journey. And then some other webinars that we've done, not just on the application, but just on, Black farmland ownership in general, on, our ideas around restorative economics, which is like the fact that we have to support we have to support the things that we want to do. And so the Black Farmer Land Fund is a big part of that. And so there's all kinds of cool stuff on our website. You can definitely check us out there. But yes, that is also where you go to apply. Okay, and I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know about the uploading thing. I didn't get any information on that, but I will make sure that that is adjusted, and that those, because you should be able to upload the documents right there on the on the Google form. So I'm sure it might be user error, so it might just be me. But if you have any trouble, like I said, please just email us I just put our email in the chat again, DetroitBlackFarmerLandFund@gmail.com, and we will get back to you. We'll help you figure out how to get it done. And yeah, does anybody else have any final words, any questions? Anything else that folks want to share? I love hearing about people's projects. Yeah, just anything else before we wrap up. But if not, I will let you guys get to work on all the things that we discussed. And again, we are accessible to you. We are looking forward to seeing your applications. We're looking forward to working with you towards your land purchase so that you too can be a part of creating and rebuilding intergenerational Black farmland ownership here in the city of Detroit. So much love, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. And this recording will be available. Check our website, and we're on Facebook and IG too. And it's all just Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, real simple. So if no one else has anything else, Jerry, do you have anything else? Did I miss anything?
No, you did an excellent job. Thank you. Great job, Aaron.
Oh, thanks everyone. No problem. I love this
everybody.
work.
Look
Yes,
forward to
good
seeing
luck.
your applications.
Thank you, ladies. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone
Take
have a good
care.
night. Thank you.
Indeed. Peace.
Peace.
All right, bye-bye.